Am I on? You pointed at me like I'm on.
You're on.
Oh, Jesus. What's supposed to happen now?
I don't know.
Hey, Nice Guy Community. Who's this going to, Phil? It's going to everybody, right?
Yeah, we're going to all the Nice Guy community and my community too. We're going to share this sucker
All
out.
right.
Yeah.
So we're going to share this. So I'm going to try to be as do I have to be politically correct with everything?
Please don't.
Okay, good.
This is Doug Sandler. DJ
Hi.
Doug is not PC.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Hey, everybody. My name is Doug Sandler. I'm the host of the Nice Guys on Business podcast. And if you are in my community, you are a Funkin' fan, and I appreciate you being here. If you're in Phil's community, I don't know what the fuck you are, but you're something. And if you need to beep that out, Phil, you just go ahead and do that. It's fine.
There's 3 people that are listening from my community. It's fine, Doug.
Oh, so perfect. Okay. So if you are in tune to LinkedIn, then you know everything that you need to know right now, and you can probably tune this out. But if you're like me and a kind of a guy that I thought I knew everything about LinkedIn, I thought I had the posts, I thought I had Pulse, I thought I had all that stuff down, and then I started watching Phil on this other webinar, and said, "Holy crap! I am so far away." So let me just introduce Phil so he can get on here and I can step out of the way and explain. If he's not traveling, speaking, or making new connections, Phil Gerbyshak he's a busy guy. He's definitely a writer. He's published 5 books, including 10 Ways to Make It Great. And hashtag Twitter works. Now, I didn't even realize you could include the word hashtag as a part of your title.
Dude, it's not a word. It's a symbol.
Oh, okay.
I have it spelled out for those of us who are like, what the hell is that?
I didn't know. So He's written 2,500 plus articles. He's been interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Financial Times, and many others that I can't pronounce, so I won't. Phil is definitely a connector. He works with salespeople, marketers, and leaders to increase their influence, their impact, and ultimately, hell yeah, their income, which is all we want. Whether social proof or social selling, Phil believes in the power of building connections. He is definitely a connector. Part sales expert, part entertainer. He shares his messages everywhere. His latest is called Linked Into Sales Training, a membership site where salespeople can crush their quota using LinkedIn as an integral part of their sales routine. I'm really stoked about this because I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed about LinkedIn, Phil, and then I started watching what you were doing, and I thought I had it all down. And you've really changed the way that I look at it. Damn, LinkedIn keeps changing the rules. So, Phil Gerbyshak, welcome to our little webinar here. I'm going to let you take over now.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. So, yeah, LinkedIn does hose us, right? They got up on Microsoft last year for $26 million. No,
26 million or billion?
No. Yeah, right. I was going to correct myself on purpose, right? Billion, which means they need to get some cash back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a lot of cashola. So 26 billion with a B. And here's the thing. I think it's worth it. I think LinkedIn is totally worth it. I think what they're doing here is making a lot of sense for a lot of people. Yes, it has ticked some people off. There's no denying that. It has ticked some people off because they're used to getting everything for free.
Well, it's like they changed the rules for me. And I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but their entire look had changed. Now, yeah, they've improved a bunch of things, and I know we're going to get into that, but it was almost a little disheartening. I thought I have to start all over again. At least when Twitter does stuff, they change it so subtly that I barely recognize it.
Yeah, well, how much can you change 140 characters, Doug?
Well, maybe 139 of them can change.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I do. I know. I totally know what you're saying, right? But I want you to think back, though. The last time Facebook made a massive change, holy crap, were people up in arms.
Well, the only big change that I can really focus on, there was one that was transparent, and we won't talk about Facebook in depth today. It's more of a LinkedIn thing, but they changed their algorithm so that they really disrupted, I don't know. They really screwed up how my business page works. That's number one. And the second thing, they keep throwing these live videos to the forefront. And anybody that has live, I don't want to see people eating dinner. Maybe I have the wrong people that I'm friending and following. But now I've completely changed gears. My Facebook page is pretty much all business now. I don't want to see all that other stuff going on.
Yeah. So if we rewind, though, a while back, not only did they change the algorithm, but remember, Facebook even banned us from doing business on our personal profile.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember that.
Of course, we forget because it was years ago. But I want you to think about that. If LinkedIn suddenly said, the only action you can get is on your company page and not as people, People that would piss people off, and that would
Yeah.
piss me off. But here's the
Right.
thing: they didn't do that.
You're
Instead,
you're getting all carried away. I see you were even sweating a little.
a little bit. Well, I'm fired up, man, because this is important stuff.
It
I mean,
is.
really,
Yeah.
I love LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn has the most potential out of any of the platforms to do business. Now, that being said, Facebook has more data than anybody else does. So do not neglect that. If you're a B2B person,
Yeah.
you're working business to business, please do not neglect Facebook. But we're not talking about that today. We're going to focus on LinkedIn. And to your point, it is confusing. It is challenging. It is different. But I'm going to share with you the things that I think could really help you if you're confused, if you're concerned, and if you just want to, you don't have to necessarily crank it up to 50, but I'm going to teach you at least how to get back to where you were and give you a couple more tactics for how you might actually benefit from this change. Now, before I do, I want to say this. If you're going to make money on any platform, you need to be willing to invest it.
Okay.
Okay. Because frankly, the days of accidental social media, accidentally making money are long gone.
There's so much noise that's out there. We have to figure out how to get through it. And as you start to get into the platform itself, I want to stop every once in a while so that I can kind of absorb it, explain what's going on. Not because I think that my community can't handle the way that you're going to deliver it to them. I have just taught, and I have taught many rooms full of people about the social media platform or channel of using LinkedIn. And I said, it's all about pulse. It's all about sharing. It's all about content and groups. And I see that, again, looking at a bunch of your webinars that you've done on this already, I'm like, wow, I'm completely blown away by the changes that are here that have been made, even with things just like the profile itself and how you can look up profiles.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't mean to jump ahead, but I'm excited about it because I can see that aside from just the 3 or 4 things that I was doing on LinkedIn, there's a whole different world that's now about to open up.
Yeah, absolutely. So profiles are still important, right? Profiles are important. Pulse, I'm finding that Pulse is getting buried. I'm not finding that people are making Pulse. You don't get notification when your article gets amplified. I'm not getting notification when you post an article anymore, Doug. It's really tough, man. Pulse has changed the game. Sharing is great, but now they took away knowing who shared your stuff. It's like, what the heck? Like, come on. So yes, changes. Yes, challenging. Yes, I'm going to make it simple for you.
Okay. Hey, just a question for you before we move on. Did you make your bed behind you? Because it looks like it's a little unkempt back there. Did you not? You make it?
No. I've got this is my 17-year-old's room. So it's also my home office. So I don't film a lot of porn in my room. So that's why.
I understand now.
All right.
Now I get it completely. I'm good. Yeah, I'm just looking behind me. I'm thinking, as I'm seeing your bed that's not made, what the hell is in my office that probably needs to be fixed?
Exactly. So
sorry, Phil. Didn't mean to get off track there, but
yes,
that color went out in the 1970s. That avocado green. Just so you know, it was.
Dude, that's.
I have a refrigerator in that color, Phil.
Oh, Doug. Now you're going to rip on my colors. You're going to make fun of my orange glasses too? Come on now.
No. I just, it's because with you in mind, yesterday I went to, what's it, Warby Parker? Is it the name of the, I went to Warby Parker and bought some new frames because these, while they're really good, they're functional. They're not fashion statements. And everywhere I keep seeing you online, it's like, there he is with those fucking frames. I gotta fix. I gotta change that.
Step it up, bitch.
I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm working on it now.
All right. Well, good.
Now we've completely alienated every mom that is watching this with their kid because now they've had to turn this off.
Sorry, Mom.
Mom.
The good news is my mom doesn't watch. So
yeah, my mom is still working on how to figure out the internet.
Yeah. No, my mom is good. She figures if she shares it on her Facebook page, it'll be there forever for her to find later.
That's good. That's good.
Which is true, except she shares 300 things a day. So
boy.
yeah, she won't find that. Okay, so let's talk.
Let's get to meat.
Yeah, baby. So let's talk about this stuff, right? Let's talk about those changes that have happened on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has changed. What the heck do you need to know? I think this is high level stuff, but I think it's important, that you understand this. So 5 fast things. If you tune out right after this, that's cool. But here's 5 fast things you need to know, and I'm going to break these down.
Can we go back to that slide, the last slide for a second? I just want to show you one thing. Okay, see if you can see the frames. Just put a big circle around the frames right there. Can you see? Either these are the same frame. This is what you get when you get Phil. You not only get a guy. That's right. He's highlighted the frames. You get a guy that knows how to wear frames and a guy that knows LinkedIn all at one time. And not that that's too distracting and all, but Phil, maybe you take off the glasses when you do LinkedIn.
No. Next question.
All right, let's go on. Let's move on.
Let's go. Okay, so that's cool. So 5 fast things to know. So first, you have to have a strategy. And like I said, I'm going to break all these down for you. So this is not like, oh my gosh, he's going to color these up and off we go. No. So I'm going to go through all of this stuff. We're going to make sure that you understand all this stuff. We're going to make it happen for you. Okay?
I broke your slideshow, I think.
Bastard. So, right. So second of all, search has changed, right? How has search changed? I'm going to talk about how that's changed. Third of all, contacting people is different than it was. Fourth, visibility. Your whole Pulse article question, Doug, that is very different, harder. And then Sales Navigator is a freaking must.
Right. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm excited about this. I love the idea that you have to have a strategy first, because I would handle LinkedIn like I would handle, probably like many people handle LinkedIn, almost like it is here's what I'm just going to check social media. I'm going to go through and I'm just going to check my Facebook post. I'm going to check my Twitter account, and I'm going to check my LinkedIn. And apparently that is not a strategy. That's more like just what a teenager is going to do when they check their social.
That's it. So yeah. So we're going to be adults here. We're going to talk about how to actually make money. But the first, Doug, I got a question.
Yeah.
How long does the average user spend on LinkedIn?
Every month. Oh, in a month. Okay. So I would probably say I probably spend maybe 20 minutes a day on LinkedIn. So if the course of the month, that would be 30. So I'm really horrible with math. Is that 60,000 minutes? I spend 18 days on LinkedIn every month.
Wow. Okay. So let's do some real math here.
Okay, go ahead.
20 minutes times 20 days would be 400 minutes
a
month. And if we split that, that's almost 7 hours.
Okay.
That's what Doug thinks he spends. Okay.
Right.
So I'm a ninja. I spend 2 to 4 hours a day on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Way too much. Right? Way too much for the average person, but this is my life. So at 2 hours a day, that's 40 hours. That's a whole week a month. Probably too much for most people. Doug is at 7. The average user spends 17 freaking minutes.
Wow. How much business are you supposed to get when you invest 17 minutes a month out of LinkedIn?
Well, I don't know, but the good news is you're not wasting any of that time, because clearly at 17 minutes, you're really efficient.
You're ripping through there, baby.
Yeah.
Right.
So I figured this out, right? So I thought about what this means. 17 minutes a month. It means that if it takes you 30 seconds to accept a connection, you get one of those a day. That's already 10 minutes a month, just accepting one connection a day. And then you're checking what is going on in your notifications. That's another 30 seconds, and that's it. That's your month. That's all you did.
I want to dispute that, though, for a second. I want to, because I want to give you a dose of reality that you probably are already even aware of. I accept anybody that asks me for a connection on LinkedIn, because I'm not going to give you a reason why that's going to be legitimate. It's just that if somebody's reaching out to me, there's an opportunity. Maybe they see an opportunity in me. Maybe there's a future opportunity I see in them. I don't think, at least as far as I know, that LinkedIn is capping the amount of connections that I make. Are they?
Well, so 30,000 is the magic number.
Okay, so I'm far from that. So we're good.
Most of us are. Yep. So, but I have to say that, because otherwise, one of my 4 listeners, I think it's 4 now. Mom probably just tuned in. One of my 4 listeners is going to say, "Yeah, hi, Mom." Yep. One of my 4 listeners said, "No, dude, there is a number." So I've been told it's 30,000. That's because LinkedIn doesn't want you to just go out and get everybody. But to that point, strategically, I say any human being you can accept as a connection, and then if they end up spamming you, then go ahead and disconnect.
Okay, agreed. So I spend maybe 5 seconds even looking at who they are, unless I really feel I look at their 10 seconds. How much did you say? 20 seconds?
Okay, so 30? I said 30, and
that's bold.
Here's why, right? I think, again, just me. I think people have that email that just goes to a junk box. Right. They go to linkedin.com. They wait for the page to load. then they click on the connections, and then they look.
Okay.
So that's why I say 30 seconds. I
You got
don't
me.
think
You
most
got it.
people, go through, but even that, okay, let's say, okay.
I'm there. You got me believing now. I'm believing.
So, but even so, right, let's say that most people, at best, they glance at their home feed and they accept some connections and maybe stuff that's in their message.
Okay.
There's no freaking way you're making money at 17 minutes a month.
Correct.
But the opportunity is, if the average is 17 minutes a month, that means for you, if you can double that to 34 minutes a month, if you can actually, I would encourage you to take it up to an hour a month, 17 minutes a week, you can get some value if you have a strategy. So that's my encouragement.
Well, that's number one, is to have the strategy. And I'm assuming, again, you're going to lay out the strategy, or you're going to tell us how we can lay out the strategy.
Yeah, of course I am. Yep. So today, and one more disclaimer here. Today is simple, but it isn't always easy.
Yeah.
Right. That it's true. This stuff to your point, Doug, I'm going to accept everybody. That's an okay strategy. That isn't going to build your business.
I dated a lot of women in college that were exactly this line. They were very simple, but they weren't easy. And that was part of my problem.
That is a problem.
I think you know those people also.
I dated them too.
Okay, good.
In a different town. Yeah. Okay. So strategy first, right? Strategy first. What the heck are we doing with strategy? Strategy. So I want you to think about, what's just one reason to be on LinkedIn. So Doug, tell me, why would you be on LinkedIn, dude?
I want to connect with people that can hire me to come in, and whether it's consulting, speaking, workshops, my podcasting program, any of those things.
Cool. So you want to get business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Get business.
Okay. So as we go into that, so we need to be a credible person first, right? We need to share things kind of second, and then we need to figure out what the heck those people look like. Simply, our goal then should be to connect with as many of those people in our target market as possible. Correct. Fairly simple strategy. Okay.
So in this case, the strategy is connect with as many people in your target market as possible.
That's correct.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Okay. Now remember, if you don't have a strategy, I promise you, LinkedIn is a big waste of time.
Yep.
So real simple stuff. So again, no more accidental success. I kind of said this before, but I want to really encourage you that days of accidentally getting business because you updated your status once is long freaking gone.
Or added a new position title into your, right. I got you.
Long gone. Right. So that was one strategy. That's a great strategy, Doug. I love that strategy. That's actually pretty much should be most people's strategies. Now, along with that, you should also understand your message, right? Like, what do you have of value to people? If you don't know that, then what are you doing? So for instance, Doug, with you, sharing your podcast episodes is perfectly relevant. It's wonderfully relevant. In fact, it's something that if you didn't do, I would box you upside the head and say, Doug, you want to get hired as a podcaster. Why aren't you sharing your episodes? Now you are, right? So that's good. But I want you to think about each piece of your business. You should be sharing things that add to the effectiveness of that helps people see. So what do you consult in, Doug?
I teach companies how to build better relationships inside and outside their organizations.
Wow. So if you teach relationship building article or share relationship building articles, that would be a pretty good strategy, eh?
Absolutely.
So something to do. Really easy. Now, we think about that, right? But search has changed. It's important to understand this too, right? So we said you're perfect people. But here's what you have to know now. Again, before, it was easier because we had a lot of free tools. We had a lot of free ways to accidentally find people. We could see the similar button and then find everybody similar. That's no longer free. Okay, so it's harder now. So these are the things you need to know about your ideal customer. And as we think about them, right? So first, you must know the company name, right? Really important. Second, you need to know the college. And third, you need to know the position. So you need to know either of these three things. If you know the company name, you can find everybody that works at the company. If you know the college, you can find every piece of that, every one of those college alumni, if you will. And then lastly, the position. Who the heck are they? Now, frankly, I encourage you to search by either company or college first. because anybody in that company or college, could be a good person to introduce you to the right person and to get you inside the organization. Okay.
What
So
if you want? What if you're looking? Oh, you have it right there. You have position. So if you're looking for a chief marketing officer, or you're looking for, okay, I got it. Sorry.
Yep. No, but good question. So position does matter. But remember, again, unless you know other people that are that position, that doesn't help you because you're not going to get an introduction maybe that way. So instead, I want to encourage you, target company and college first, and then search for position kind of second. Okay? That makes sense, Doug?
Absolutely.
So cool. So here's how search has changed. It's important to understand here. So first, it actually is easier to search than it's been. And people say, what the hell is he talking about? Because to some, it looks a lot harder. Like if you're a big LinkedIn user before, you're like, whoa, he's wrong. It's not easier. But for the average schmuck who doesn't know, who spends 17 minutes a month, now they can spend a little more time and no longer be an average schmuck and be a power user by letting the LinkedIn fill in your stuff. So jobs, if you're a job seeker, you can look for jobs at the title. You start filling it in. LinkedIn pops it down and says, are you looking for jobs? You're looking for people, or are you looking for groups? Now groups, unfortunately, Doug, I'm sorry to say, I think are soon going to be rest in peace.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because there are so many people that built huge businesses as a result of having these connections. And then they were like the landlord of this entire group. Did it give that one person too much power? What was LinkedIn's view of that?
So I'll give you a quick history lesson on groups. So to your point, people built these massive groups. Then LinkedIn killed itself with groups, and they said, now we're going to open these groups up, and now anybody can join a group, and we don't have to moderate anything. So we went from great groups to being the wild, wild west. And what happened is what many LinkedIn experts, including myself, would advise is, Doug, join the group of your ideal target and then go send invitations and try to contact all those people. And LinkedIn let us do it for free.
Yeah, it became the marketer's showcase. So you had more providers of service than actual users in those groups, probably.
Almost every one of them. And even worse, I would join the group. It would show that you and I were in the same group, Doug. And then as soon as you responded or didn't, I'd leave the group. So worse than just link litter, where you just drop a link and then you go away. Instead, I was member spamming, so people wouldn't join groups, or they would just stop going to the group. I can tell you, I turned off all updates from just about every group. Now, there's still a few groups that I find some value in, but I think for the most part, LinkedIn is likely going to go through and they're going to kill probably 90% of these groups.
Hey, Phil, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is this the information that you're giving us right now on the search, is it regardless of whether you have a paid account or a free account?
Yes. So good question. Yep. These are all free tips until I get to the part where I talk about Navigator.
Okay, so everything that you're showing up to Navigator is going to be if you're a free user, if you're a user of LinkedIn's free account. Because I had a paid account for the longest time and then really saw no added value to it. I think I was paying $70 a month, and that was expensive.
Yep, absolutely. So now I'm going to encourage you, and I said this before, spoiler alert, I'm going to encourage you to go back to paid, and I'm going to talk about why at the end. But
okay, that's cool.
But these are your search results, right? And then if you want to be a little smarter, a little more complex, you can then be a little more complex. So for instance, if you remember the olden days of search engines, you had what were called Boolean operators.
Yeah.
And or not. Well, guess what? LinkedIn has them now. That's pretty cool. And believe it or not, they had them before, but nobody knew about them. So power users are like, well, they took 4 of them away. Well, now they actually show you in the search tips that they actually have 3 Boolean operators and 5 different search operators. So now, if you're smart, you can compose your own, let's call it an equation, right? A complex query that is an equation that results in the people you want. So first name and last name. Here's the thing. if you know the first and the last name, you don't have to be real smart to search. Okay, you can just know. I know it's Doug, and I'm telling you, I don't know 1,000 Dougs. I know 7,
Right.
and I can filter through that myself. Or Sandler, I know 2 people by the last name of Sandler. Oh, that's not hard to filter through.
Right.
Right. So, but I show these because LinkedIn supports them, and they think it's a big deal. I could give a crap about first name and last name. Again, that seldom, unless your name is Mike Smith. That's not helping you, but it does help if you went to a networking event last night and you ran into Mike from IBM. Maybe it helps you narrow it down a little bit, right? So that's okay.
Okay.
But most of the time, not very valuable. But title, right? Find members based on their title. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm looking for a CMO. Or company, looking for people at a certain company. In school,
when we actually get over to the LinkedIn platform, and I'm assuming are we doing that? Are we going over to LinkedIn at some point?
Yep.
Okay, so when we go over to LinkedIn, will you actually show a live example of what this looks like?
Absolutely, I will.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Sorry. I mean, for me, I'm a very visual guy. Seeing is believing, and I see what you're writing here, and it looks very cool. But until I actually see it in place, that it makes it challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the example, right? Search for current software engineers not named Doe who have attended either Harvard or Stanford. Try title, colon, then open quotation mark, software engineer, end parenthesis, right, not last name of Doe, school, Harvard or Stanford. Okay. So let's go live so we can actually see what the hell this looks like. Okay. Because I think, to your point, Doug, I do think that's helpful. I do think people need to see that. I do think that, understanding it is really helpful. And it's more than just, oh, here we go. But it's really about the search. So let's go. I'm going to share the live. Once it comes up here on my screen, I'm going to share it with you on your screen. And that way we can get that for you. So just hang on just a sec here. We'll let LinkedIn come up.
So while you're searching for your LinkedIn stuff, so just so Nice Guy community and anybody that's watching this, the 4 people plus your mom are listening. Where in the world are you, Phil?
Today, I legitimately am in Tampa, Florida, in my 17-year-old's bedroom, aka my home office.
All right, excellent. And you do a lot of traveling, I know. So what's on the future what's on the horizon for you for where you're going? Anywhere good?
Yeah, so looking like going to the beach here in Florida, going to have a couple engagements down in Clearwater. I've got an engagement that I'm working on in Denver, and I've got some stuff coming up probably in DC.
That's awesome. Well, when you get up to DC, which is where I am, definitely got to look me up. And NSA is having, I think, their national conferences in Tampa this year, isn't it?
Orlando, baby.
Oh, is that Orlando? Okay, so I'm going to go to Orlando, but there's something else that's in Tampa. I thought there was a meeting in Tampa that was going on with NSA.
Well, we have monthly meetings. I don't know, but you're always.
I'm coming your way. I'm coming your way, Phil.
Yeah, good. Bring it, baby. Bring it.
I'm ready. Yeah. But first, you got to show me about this search box on LinkedIn.
Yes, sir. Yes. So, yep. So So LinkedIn today is, of course, because we're doing this, is nice and slow. But we're going to share that again so we can get that back here. So we'll share our screen here. So 1 second here. There we go. So here's the LinkedIn search. Doug, tell me if you're seeing it.
Not yet. Yes, now I am.
Okay. So before I even put in that stuff, and I shared that because some people actually are they want to put in the data. I want to actually encourage you. Let's look through here and instead use.
Hey, one other thing. Can you take me back to the home screen so I can see how you even got to where you are right now?
No,
I can't do that.
Of course I can. So, yep. So off the home screen, I'm just a cheater. And I just like to go right to the main search so that I can get that.
So is your strategy when you first come to LinkedIn to go directly to the search area, or do you start? Is there someplace you start?
So yeah, that's a great question, Doug. So my method is I take care of all the shiny red first.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
Okay. So I want to look at who wants to be in my network. I don't give a crap about jobs. I'm not looking for a job. I'm self-employed. That's why I'm not being arrogant. They don't post, hey, would you like a consultant job? Okay. So that's why. Messaging is who has messaged me. Also in messaging, remember now, if you personalize your invitation to someone on LinkedIn, and I encourage you better
Yeah.
personalize every invitation. When they accept it, it shows up in your messaging. So that's pretty cool. Your notifications, right? Who has clicked
Right.
on like or whatever on there. The interesting thing now is that now it goes to a whole separate page. It
Right.
used to be that you could mouse over it, which again, some people said they like, but for me, that would actually tick me off because I would get it and I'd be like, I want to click on all and it would disappear. And I click on all, I want to disappear. So I didn't like that at all. I actually prefer that I have to click on that. Okay, so then there's me. These are all your settings, different things here.
Yep.
More is all the different products. And then Sales Navigator is just Sales Navigator, okay? So I'm going to click on.
Hey, Phil, not that I'm going to say anything about you that you don't already know, but in this picture, you're wearing the same shirt that you're wearing now. Were you cheating on me today? Were you doing another webinar today, Phil?
I was going to get naked on ours, Doug, and I just decided not to. We're friends, but we're not that good of friends.
I very, very much appreciate that, Phil.
Yes, I was. 2 hours ago, I was still wearing clothing. Thank you for noticing, Doug. So, all right. So for here, I like efficiency. So you could do this off the homepage. You can do this here. I just go click in the little search box.
There we go. Search for people with filters. Yep. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
Because again, I'm lazy.
That eluded me. Now I got it.
Well, most people are in a hurry, so they don't see it. So for me, I just want to go slow. I just want to make it work. So I go there, right? So here's our searches. Right now, these to actually use the Boolean thing. So in this case, I'm going to say last name, and if I could spell Sandler, right? Then and it's already starting to pop up there. So
there's that other Doug Sandler. He is the chief equity officer at Riverfront Properties. I can tell you that he is the only guy that I have allowed to share my Google search page with.
That's right. So not chief, not job title, right? And then, right, so chief.
Right.
And then look at that. Now it automatically narrows down. I have not clicked anything. So now I see my results before I do anything at all.
Got it.
Your buddy that is the chief equity officer is now invisible.
Okay. As he should be. How dare he have my name and share my Google page? He's the only guy. Well, I have a friend. Her name is Jenna Atkinson, and she would say this because I'm sure she'll tune into this webinar one day. And she speaks all over the country about her topic of building your brand. And she shares her name with a porn star.
Outstanding.
So, of course, what happens when she pulls up her I wasn't going to say her dress. I was going to say when she pulls up her name on Google. Look what comes up. It's Jenna Atkinson, the porn star.
Yeah, not safe for work.
Those of you that are leaving this webinar right now so that you can actually Google Jenna Atkinson, please come back. We want you back here. All right, we're in. All right, we got it.
So there we go. So now, because the results are so small, I'm going to guess that's why it includes your friend here, Doug.
Yep.
Right? That's why it comes up here, because the results are small. Now, people might say, well, doggone it, Phil, now what do I do from here? So now...
I just want to let everybody know in the Nice Guy community and those listening to Phil that I am the Doug that has hair. Look at the bottom, Phil. No hair. No hair there.
That would be hairless Doug Sander, also known as the Mr. Bigglesworth of Doug Sanders.
That's right.
That's right. So, yeah. So now we can narrow in our search. Now, we get this list. Now, first, I want to congratulate you. We created a list with only 11 results. This is easy to filter through. Again, I know 7 people named Doug. That's cool. But here's the brilliance. Let's change that to just last name of Sandler.
Okay.
And we're going to pull this back, and I'm going to show you because this is the gold. So still 11. What the heck? So that's interesting. So that tells me that I thought this would be bigger, right? I thought Sandler was more common than it is, but it's not. It's not a common last name, but let's pick something that is a little more common.
Is this of the people that you have in your connections, or is this of everybody? Okay, so now what if they weren't a connection of yours?
So they're all people in my network. So look at the right side.
Oh, in your network.
Yep.
Okay.
So first, second, and now if I flip it up, I could go third plus.
So these are all people that you could probably first and second, you can get them to make an introduction for you, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Okay.
So here we go. So if I go to Smith and I go first, second, third plus, that means a group as well. I get 1.3 million people. That's too big of a list. So
Right.
now I'm going to say, well, first, I don't want any of my first level connections because we're already connected.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm going to say second level connections. We're going to pull that back. And now I'm going to look and I'm going to see where we have people in common. And in this case, Ryan Smith, and nicely, it looks like it's going to pull back based on proximity to me. So all these here, if I was like, I want to connect to Amanda, I used to be able to click and that would just show me who that is, who those commonalities were.
Right.
But now I have to click on her profile, which means she gets an alert that says Phil Gerbishak is stalking me. I mean, looking at my profile.
Right.
Right. But I still do get the opportunity to click on this mutual connections and I can actually see who those mutual connections are, but I can no longer ask for an introduction, which tells me either one, LinkedIn thinks that introductions are a premium feature, which they probably are. But secondly, here's the thing. If I'm friends with David Lorenzo, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave this field open and say, hey, David, I'm looking at Amanda's profile, and I'm wondering, could you make an introduction for her to me?
Right.
And if he says no, great. Okay, Amanda Felkowski, would you make it? Right? I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go down the list now. So that's the interesting thing, I think.
How did you know that Amanda, for example, was somebody though that you wanted to connect with? What led you to that solution, to that?
Well, in this case, I didn't.
End? Okay.
In this case, I did not.
Because right now you just searched on last name, and I'm thinking, well, what do you and Amanda even have any business doing together?
That's correct. Yep. So now, right, so this is where the search, I think, much improved. Much improved, because now, right, I can pick the things that I want. I can say, I only want to work with somebody named Smith at Wells Fargo. Mm-hmm. Now it's a much more manageable list, Doug, to ask your question. 1,300 people. And now we might say, okay, now I only want to connect with people that are close to me. And I type it instead of having to know the darn zip code, which is how it used to be. And now all the people named Smith, I might have met Ashley at an event last night. Now I might, make that connection because I'm like, oh yeah, that was the person.
Okay.
Right. So that's why I would do that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Totally makes sense.
Cool. So let's go through a couple more things here, Doug, so I can share that with you. And then we'll kind of wrap up here, because really we could go here all day. There's a lot of stuff here that we do. So in this case, right, let's talk about other stuff that you can do. As I said, contacting people is harder, really important. I just showed you that. It's a little bit harder, right? Introductions are no more.
Right.
They're gone. They are in Sales Navigator, but they're gone in the free version, okay? And you do have to expand to see people's contact info. So here's what I'm talking about. This is my profile as though Doug were looking at it, as though any of my second level connections were seeing it. They have to click on show more now to get that. That's an extra step. Some people don't like that. But here's the cool thing. If you allow it, your second degree connections can get your websites. So they could go back and find your website.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of nice. I think that's a nice feature for folks. And then here it is expanded. Now, you'll notice, though, under websites, one of the things that I used to advise, and probably you have too, Doug, is instead of just throwing some shabby URL there, give it a name. Well, now the name is last and it actually shows you the link. Okay? So I actually recommend, instead of having some shabby URL there, instead buy the domain like this, Conversation with Phil. It just goes to my podcast. It's a forward. Social Selling Daily Dozen is my free ebook. Mm-hmm. It goes right there. It isn't hosted. That isn't a domain that I pay but $8 a year for. So I recommend that's how you do it, and that's how you still make it look nice. Okay?
Yeah. It's very interesting because I was using LinkedIn for really just a whole different. I was using it, I would say, probably the last 2 years more as a broadcasting and sharing platform, not necessarily a way to connect
Yep.
as much as I probably should be using it.
Yeah. Yep. So now it's a connection platform. Now I think they're forcing the connection more. So the fourth thing, right, is visibility requires more effort. There's less notifications. There's some weirdness in comments, and you get less emails. And I say weirdness just because it's inconsistent on the comments. Like sometimes they expand, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I can tag your name, sometimes I can't.
Yeah, I did
Right.
notice that. Sometimes
All
I
that
can put
stuff.
sometimes I can put a picture, and sometimes I can't on my mobile. Again, I don't know if this is all a part of some bugs that they're trying to work out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to make it better and less emails. I used to get a daily email from LinkedIn. I haven't got an email. I get less emails. So, okay, that's cool. So know that. You don't get alerts on new articles. To your point about Pulse, Doug, you write an article, I don't know it.
All right, so you got a guy like I don't remember his last name, Jeff. Shoot, I'm blanking on his last name, but anyway, there's several that people that I'm following right now that get like 400,000 views of their Pulse articles.
Yep,
Our
Jeff
Pulse
Hayden.
articles, Jeff Hazlett. No, not Jeff Hazlett.
Jeff Hayden. Hayden.
Hayden. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does a guy like Jeff get affected by something like this change?
Well, I think that once they totally flip over, I think they're going to have to put some new influencer platform together. Because Jeff is an influencer. He's not a normal guy like you and me.
Right. Okay.
So, and I think that's going to also be like a prediction is Pulse TV. They're going to have video in the field. So you'll see.
Yeah, that's great. Well, everybody's going to video. I mean, between Twitter and Facebook and Snap and all the other channels, they definitely need some sort of video platform.
Yeah, and if you look in the settings, you actually now have the ability to control whether or not video plays in your feed by default or not. So clearly, they're coming with video. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So harder to tag. I mentioned this, right? You have to start with an @ symbol. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's weird. Okay. And emails are group. And to me, they seem really freaking random, which is really challenging. Right. So
in any of the materials that you cover, Phil, do you have like a best practices LinkedIn series? Something like, hey, when somebody connects with you, don't start sending them immediate spam. I know these things are obvious, but sometimes they're not obvious. Is there a top 10 that maybe you can put together, or maybe there are top 5 things that you should and shouldn't do when you're making it over to LinkedIn or developing your strategy?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what is, if you go to socialsellingdailydozen.com, next week, I will send you a top 10 LinkedIn best practices of things to do and things not to do.
Wow. All right. I love this.
Yep. So Social Selling Daily Dozen. That'll be where you go. Okay.
Okay.
So Navigator, though, is a must, Doug. I said this before. I'm going to say it again. You're going to have this beaten into your head. LinkedIn is going to tell you this. If you're doing business on LinkedIn, you need to be in business, period. Right? So just know that, right? So most of what it is in Sales Navigator. You get introductions, they're there. Search inside people's network, that's gone too. You get even more search filters, and you get tags, which I call buckets. You put people in the right bucket, and you communicate with them on a standard, regular basis, and then those notes.
Okay.
So I really get your Sales Navigator. I also want you to keep track. So wherever you are today, I don't care if you love LinkedIn, if you hate it, if you're thinking about using it, I want you to go to this URL. I don't get any money for this or anything like that. I want you to go to this URL, and I want you to sign into LinkedIn and see what your score is.
I want to see what my score is. How do I do that?
So go to this URL. If you're, you can do it on your phone too. It's bit/ly or .ly/LISSINDEX. So LinkedIn Social Selling Index.
And what does that tell you? It tells
you exactly what your score is. So there's 4 components of that.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. And you should, right? So you absolutely should do that right now. That's important. And I think everybody should do this. right now. So you get 4 things: establishing your professional brand. That's how good or bad is your profile. Find the right people, engage with insights, and build relationships. So it's important. So Doug, you're doing this right now. What's your number?
I'm looking it up. So hold on. Is it gonna ask me some questions? It's
No,
saying
sir.
it's get your social score.
Yep. So click on that.
Okay, clicking on that.
Yep. And mine right now is 86.
It's asking me to sign in with LinkedIn.
Of
Okay,
course.
let me sign. Jeez, hold on. I gotta. I didn't know I needed all this stuff.
So,
Wait a minute.
Well, you don't need to, but yeah.
Wait, I don't have to sign in.
Well, you do, yeah, if you want to. But I'm just saying we can just
just
share.
That's all right. Well, do you have one on your screen? You can just share yours.
Here, so let's pull that up. So
I'm curious what mine is. That's very interesting. So this determines like your weight within.
No, so this is what, to me, what this tells you is this is how effective you're using LinkedIn compared to yourself.
Oh, okay.
So this is why I do not, this is a private score. This is not a public score. This is really all about you. So take your own score and then get better. Do not freak out. Do not think, oh shit, my score is 12 and I suck. No, do not think that. Instead,
just trying to get my information. You keep taking over my screen. Just hold on a second, Phil.
Right, but I'm sharing what mine looks like here.
Wait, can nobody see my screen, right?
No, Doug. Nobody sees that your password is still.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead. As I'm being selfish about this, I'm letting you do what you need to do.
There you go. So, but I want to encourage you, look at this for yourself. Compare you against yourself. Once a week, it does update, and you see where you rank.
All right.
That's all.
I'm a 79, which is less than you. So damn it, Phil, I need to get better. I'm industry rank 1%, top network 5%. I don't know what either one of those numbers means.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
No, and I'm being serious here. It doesn't make any difference. Your goal. I'm
a guy that's always been an underachiever in life, so I need to make sure that I fix this. What do I need to do to fix this?
Well, so click on each of the 4 pieces there.
All
Establish your professional brand. Find the right people. Engage with insights and build relationships.
Well, I know what's interesting is because I very rarely seek out connections to find the right people is my lowest score in here.
It's interesting. Mine is too.
And I wouldn't consider that for you because you are a guy that does do a lot of relationship building and looking for connections.
Yep, but clearly not enough. So the point is not shame on me or shame on you, Doug. The point is, here's where I am today.
Okay, got it.
I can be better tomorrow.
I'm going to get this out of my head that I'm not good.
So stop freaking out, dude.
Okay, I'm fine.
All right. So, so as we kind of think about this, right?
A lot of low self-esteem growing up, Phil. I'm working through that right now. Therapist, the whole thing. It's very expensive. It was either the therapist or LinkedIn Pro. I didn't know which way to go.
Yeah. So get LinkedIn Pro, Doug. It's worth it. So, or better yet, dude, why don't you sign up for my community?
All right. So let's talk about this. All right. So so this is something you do. So help us with this. What comes next?
Yeah. So what comes next is if you do need more help, if you do need more guidance, if you're like, holy crap, this isn't enough. I've got people that I work with on a biweekly basis as a group. This is not individual, right? So it'll be a little bit more general, but it's biweekly live and recorded training. So, so as I learn about LinkedIn, guess what? I share that.
Mm-hmm.
I do little trainings. Some are 5 minutes, some are half an hour. And then I've got, Q&A as well that we do. So you have a Facebook community, you get weekly email with the changes that come up, right? And then I mentioned that private Facebook group. It's really simple. I mean, my goal is not to complicate your life more, Doug. My goal is to take that 17 minutes that you're using a month, turn that into 17 minutes a week, and maybe eventually 17 minutes a day, so that you can actually use LinkedIn to build your business.
That's good because my wife's job, my ex-wife's job, is actually to make my life more complicated. So I appreciate that very much
Well,
out of
she
you,
called
Phil.
me and told me that I shouldn't overstep my reach.
You're doing great. Hey, that leaves her with 23 hours and 43 minutes if I'm only spending 17 minutes a day on LinkedIn. So I feel it's a fair trade-off here, Phil.
It can be. I totally agree. So, yep. But so the URL is just LinkedIn to salestraining.com. I encourage you to check it out. It's less than $1 a day, $27 a month. Lots of help. I can show you lots and lots of things that will help you actually make some money from LinkedIn.
This is great. This is really great. So, Nice Guy community, if you want to get in touch with Phil, there's his contact information is down below. Phil Gerb is how you reach out to him. Do you want anybody to reach out to you on email? Is that okay?
I don't care. Email or call. Yeah, email is phil@philgerbishak.com. My phone number is 414-640-7445. Just call me. It's 414.
Do people even use the phone anymore?
Some do. Some do. In fact, I got a phone call coming up in just a couple of minutes here. 414-640-7445. So don't be shy. You could also text if you're a little more introverted.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Phil, for sharing all this information. We'll make sure that we leave it available. I'm assuming there's going to be a recording of this that we're going to be able to find somewhere in La La Land. They didn't win the
They
Oscar.
didn't win.
No.
I turned it off right after they get announced.
You heard the announcement and it was over just that quick. Nope, it was not.
Year.
It was not them. Next year for sure. Phil, thank you so much for being a valuable part of the community and for sharing all your information. We'll make it available to everybody. We'll put it on my website. We'll put it on Phil's website. We'll put the links everywhere. So thanks again, Phil, for being here. Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Again, special thanks to Phil for bringing his LinkedIn expertise to our community today.
Woohoo! Thanks, Doug.